fucking chat bubble came back. Am I live? Test, test, test. Am I live? Test, test, test. Here we go. Am I live? That is working. We just can't edit this. Can't edit this. Reason. Fucking cool. Whatever.
One more improvement we want to make to the enemy AI is that now if we start, it just starts chasing us right away. But let's say we want to move this enemy further away from us and create another one. We can just hold Alt and drag it down here. And yeah, they know where the player is right away and they start chasing right away. However, I want to make it so that they only know about us once we're in a certain range of them. So the first thing I want to do is go to the Blueprints AI Characters Shark, and on the BP Shark, we open it up, open the full blueprint, and go to the viewport, and on the capsule, add a sphere collision, like this. And yeah, just call it Aggro Range.
And a sphere collision.
And it's very small now, but we can just change the sphere radius and just make it like, well, that's too big. I think like 500 makes sense around this. And yeah, you can also see it in the world here. Maybe 500 is not enough. Maybe 1000, like this. And yeah, in the world it's kind of like this range. Actually make it 750. And yeah, now I think this is just fine. So it's a decent range that we can use then as a detector for the player. So yeah, on the aggro range, we can just go to the collision settings here. And now it's overlap all dynamic. And we can just set this to custom and set everything to ignore and only pawn. Only set pawn to overlap because we only want to check the player's capsule component. And we can compile and save this. And now, even further down, on component begin overlap is the event we want to use again. And yeah, we've done this a couple of times. And other actor cast to BP captain, like this. Yes. And in that case, we want to set the aggro. So we can get AI controller on the AI, get AI controller of self, put self in here, and we can just cast to AIC enemy, like this. And here we can then simply set attack target, call function set.
The enemy AI controller. to set attack target. The enemy of the AI controller enemy, set attack for the main character. And I feel like this
attack target can enemy like this. And here we can then simply set attack. Want to use this BP captain and pass it in here.
Yeah.
This double click. Reroute node, double click. Just like this. Yes. So yeah, what this does is once the player runs into our aggro range, we're just going to check this and then set it as the attack target. Yeah, so what we need to do now is go to the AIC enemy. And yeah, if you don't have it open, blueprints, AI, AIC enemy here, and on the event graph for begin play, well, we have this temporary aggro system where we just set it right on begin play. We can just get rid of this, delete it, and compile and save. And now, and you can see that now they're just standing there, they're not attacking. And once I go into this range, well, they turn around, but they're waiting a little bit and then they start attacking. So we need to make a slight change here, but this is already in the right direction. Again, here, it can turn around, but it doesn't follow. And then it starts following. So the reason for this is that in the behavior tree, the BT enemy in here, we have this wait, and we're not canceling this. It just kind of plays out, and after this finished, then we start to look towards the player.
I'm back. I cooked a delicious meal. It was top tier. What was it? And then it waits. Okay. But at least the box works. Pasta bechamel sauce, mushroom, pasta bechamel sauce, mushroom, and chicken pieces. What was the chicken seasoned with? So once we get closer, and then it waits. And then moves to us. Cool, 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 cool. Very nice, very nice. And now I need... blueprints, AI.
So we can add another condition here. We can right click the yellow part and add decorator, blackboard. And here we can, it's the first one is the is not set, the stunt. It's fine. This one, we want not self actor, but attack target and is set. Yeah, so we want to make sure that the attack target is set as the condition for doing this. And here we can just, again, observer aborts both. And again, this allows us to cancel the wait and just go into this right away, or also cancel the move to in case we forget about the attack target. However, for this game, we're not going to make a system where we forget about the attack target if it runs away. We're just going to, like, once we have aggro, we're just going to keep the aggro.
That's the chicken's seasoning. Oh, it was salt, pepper, paprika, onion powder, and curry powder. Cool. You put more spices into your bechamel than you do your shawarma. Interesting.
Yeah, this should be enough. So we can start then. And I walk into the range here, so you can see. And yes, once I walk into the range.
All right, let's see it. Awesome. And it attacks. You're fucked. And there were 2 layers. Love a double layer.
The enemy starts following me right away. And also here you can see this. Yeah, starts following me right away. because in the behavior tree, we are aborting the observer for the wait and just going into this routine right away.
I see.
And yeah, this is a simple aggro system that you can use in all of your games.
I wonder what a Lincoln complex aggro system is.
So now,
I guess saying that you have to abort finding the person if it goes out of range here. Or is it just going to follow you forever? Bottom layer was pasta, then chicken. And then the sauce, second layer was... Yeah, isn't that what a bechamel? Misremembering bechamel is? That sauce goes on top. That's one of the mother sauces? How many mother sauces are there? Hollandaise, tomato sauce, bechamel. Yeah, I don't... I would have never known that in a million years. That sounds really good, bro.
it's time to
Did you
create
make
our
that?
first Metroidvania style element in this game, and that is ability
That sounds really good. That sounds really, really good, bro.
unlocks. The first thing we want to do for this is create an enumerator. So under
I cooked it delicious. Yeah, you cooked it. Wow.
blueprints,
That's amazing.
I can create a new folder called E9.
Who teaches you? Your mom? I don't know about that, Chief.
And open it up and right click and blueprint enumeration. And I'm going to call it E_abilities, just like this. And here I want to add an enumerator, and the first one is going to be a double jump. And the second one is going to be the sword throw. So yeah, those are the two unlockable abilities that we're going to create in this game. And it's nice that we have an enum to take care of them. And having an enum like this helps us to track the unlock state and things like that. So I can close this down. And the way we want to unlock them is by picking up a sphere. So I can go to blueprints, and here I can right click, create a new things like that. So I can close this down. And the way we want to unlock them is by picking up a sphere. So I can go to blueprints, and here I can right click, create a new blueprint class, and this is just going to be an actor. And I call it BP ability pickup, just like this. And I actually want to put this in a folder, so I can make a new folder and call it abilities and put this in here, move here. Yes, and I want to open this up. Well, actually, let's close these things first because we have too many open tabs. Close tabs to the right. And yeah, just open up the ability pickup.
How's your game coming along?
The first thing we want to have here is a box collision. Yeah, a box collision.
Man, I don't learn from others anymore. Learn from experience, and my mom never cooks. She's a doctor, and my grandmother helps me with the pan, which I am new with using heat control things. Oh. To say that you're done learning from others when you're 12 is kind of funny. But yes, experience will teach you significantly more than learning from others. I can't disagree with you there. I like the mindset.
Collision like this, and just call player check.
Is that a box collision?
Yeah, a box collision like this, and just call player check, and add a sphere here. And not a sphere collision, an actual sphere. And yeah, it can just be called sphere. That's all fine. So the thing that we want to do with the sphere is that it shouldn't have collision. It's simply for
Um, it took me so long to figure out getting my pan to the right temperature and what things take time to cook, what things you can't cook. Like for the longest time, I just tried cooking everything on like full blast high heat. And it's like I got okay at it, but like food was not coming out the way I wanted it to the point where like I really started like having to troubleshoot that idea of like, you know, how long do things actually take to cook rather than just like kind of cooking the outside of it. I stopped learning from others. I mean, that's not necessarily true, right? You are learning how to do game development and you're probably learning, you're not doing all of it by yourself. You're not doing all, like, I'm sure a lot of it is trial and error, but when you are attempting to, how do I make chicken carbonara? I have no idea what's in chicken carbonara. Do I use pancetta? Uh do I use bacon? Well, you're a halal, so you can't use any sort of pork. So would you even use chicken carbonara or would you just use beef? You know? So there's some facets to understanding that like no matter what, you will always be influenced one way or another by your grandmother, for example, here, you know? With yes, you are learning from experience, but you know, getting that temperature, getting that pan to the right temperature, you know, you are not learning that from experience. You're learning that because your grandmother is telling you that this is what you should cook at.
A visual effect.
Like you're still in school getting taught by a teacher. Like you're not learning those things on your own. You're being taught those things.
So we can scroll down to the collision preset and just change this to no collision. And on the player check, our box collision, here we want to go to the collision preset. And from overlap all dynamic, we can just go to custom and again, ignore everything and only check for the pawn. Overlap for the pawn because we only want to check for the player. And we can then compile and save and move this over here. And we can just put one of these in the level just for checking. And yeah, you can see that the sphere is really big. This looks kind of weird, not what I'm going for. So yeah, we can go for the sphere and just click on the lock here to change the scaling on all three axes at the same time and maybe make it 0.3. Compile save, and here I can see, oh, it's a bit too small. So yeah, I think 0.5 is about right. And yeah, like 0.5 is good. And I want to make the player check bigger. And
I fucked up.
I can just make the box extend higher on the Y. Actually,
Oh, I understand. Apologies. Looks good.
not on the Y, on the Z. Make it a bit higher, like this.
Why?
And yes. And this looks about fine. Can put it like this and then have the player kind of like walk here and just pick it up, which we still haven't implemented. So in here, in the ability pickup, well, the first important thing is under variables, I want to have the ability type.
my mom came back from a work trip, she tried my pasta and she said it was very good. Good. Good for you, bro. That's amazing. I never really cooked with my mom. Something I do now. When I see her, but I don't see her very often.
And here we have the E abilities, which we created the enum like this and compile and save. And yeah, by default, it's going to be double jump, or we can select the sword throw. And yeah, this is just going to be the ability that we're going to apply to the player. But for now, just go to the player check, scroll all the way down to the events, and on component begin overlap, the other actor cast to the captain, BP captain. And in that case, yeah, we know it's the player. And for now, we're not going to do anything to the player. Well, for now, we're just gonna print string, and print our ability type. Get the ability type and print it. And yeah, it's gonna convert it. And after that, just call destroy actor. Because yeah, once the pickup is picked up, it's just gonna get destroyed. And we can just compile and save like this. And for now, I walk in here, and you see, we see double jump on the left of the screen, and then the
Beautiful.
pickup disappears. And yeah, this is a good first step. We now want to...
Yeah, but I'm just like, I never, like, I wasn't cooking at your age, so I just never got, you still showed your mom your result, and then it was good. That's validating. That's a very good thing for you when you're young, you know, the validation of your parent and like, look what I made. This is good.
to make the sphere look a little bit better. So we can just right click here in the abilities folder and make a new material. And here material, it's just the top one, material. And I'm just going to call it m_ability like this, and double click to open it up.
Even better, right? Even more validation for you. You know, that's pretty cool. That's a cool thing, in my opinion.
And here we only want an emissive color because we want it to shine. And yeah, well, this is actually our first time opening up the material editor. And yeah, this allows us to create shaders, to create materials for that we can then use with our meshes. And again, this is a science in itself. You can spend months learning about this and you're not gonna know everything, but we just care about the basics.
The H was an accident. Oh, okay. Sorry, I have this stupid fucking heart that it's dumb. The YouTube thing isn't working today, so I couldn't change that. I'm gonna try and change it now because it's unbelievably frustrating. Do you hear the music at all? Is the music a good volume, you think?
Here, so we just want to make a cool material for our sphere so it like shines, it looks a bit more interesting. And yeah, so for that we want to use the emissive color. We can just hold the 4 key on the keyboard and left click to create this color node. And I want to change this, so I can just double click it here and make it red, and very red. So change the left one to red and the right one to red as well. And this just gives us a red color. And I then want to drag off here from the top, which has all the values, and multiply it by a, we can just hold the 1 on the keyboard and left click to create a constant like this. And let's just say 10. And this is going to be the glow strength. You can put this here and in the emissive color. And yeah, you might have to click on apply. And then
oh my god, that is so cool. Look at this. I hear silence. You hear silence. What about... You do hear silence. Thank you for letting me know that. song sucks to fucking figure this out for. There you go. That should be okay. Or is that not loud enough? It should just be soft background music. Do you feel the 2016 nostalgia? I guess I'm not really too nostalgic for things that happened in 2016 now. Look at that. Turn if the music. I hate it. You hate the music? I mean, I don't care if you hate the music, but that's the music that's staying. You don't get a say. That's what I want to listen to. Sorry.
See it light up here, and I can just change the value here, like maybe 50.
I do want to say though, come time during us finishing this, something that I plan on making is turn it off for me and on for you. I'll make it lower. Something that I want to do out of the first project that we made, which was like the fighter of the reaction time one, is that I want it to be more like rock, paper, scissors based. I don't know how to spell scissor. But having person X, Y, and Z be that, and then, you know, it being, and then them sliding into frame depending on which one you select. So, and then I want to kind of use this idea with whatever you guys have for ideas as well. So like in rock, paper, scissors, do we want it to all be the same animation? Do we want them to be each different people? Like all of that, I think is going to be a good fun way of kind of learning.
50, and you see that it glows stronger, but I think 10 is about fine. But yeah, so if we just have it this way, it's always the same, but we want to change this depending on if we have the sword throw pickup or the double jump pickup. So we can actually right click this.
I'm gonna go and code my tax evasion sim. Sounds good, bro. Enjoy.
And just call it glow color. can actually right click this and turn it into a parameter. So convert to parameter and just call it glow color. And here the same, right click, convert to parameter, and just have it glow amount. Like this. And apply and save. And we can then go back here and we can create material instances of this. So it's kind of similar to having a parent and a child, like we had with the blueprint. So we can right click and create material instance. So this is going to be mi_ability double jump, like this. And for the double jump, yeah, we're just going to keep the red and the same glow amount. But here again, right click the ability, create material instance, same glow amount. But here again, right click the ability, create material instance, and then we're gonna have mi_sword throw. And here we want to change the color. So I can go in here and tick the glow color, and then I can just click here and go to green. Yeah, like this, and okay, and save it. And yeah, now we have these two different colors that we can apply. And in the ability pickup, we can just go to the sphere, and here for materials, element 0, we can just pick the mi. Ability double jump. And yeah, compile and save. And actually, sorry, I forgot to call this. I just called this mi sword throw, but it should be mi_ability_sword throw. And yeah, compile and save. And yeah, this is for our sword throw. But we want to create two children of this blueprint now. So we can right click, create child blueprint. And this is going to be BP_ability and double jump. But yeah, in this one we don't have to change anything because it already has the material for the double jump. And if we click here, you can see that it also has the ability type of the double jump. So yeah, this one is fine. But then again, create a child of the ability pickup. And yeah, compile and save. And actually, sorry, I forgot to call this. I just called this mi sword throw, but it should be mi_ability_sword throw. And yeah, compile and save. And yeah, this is for our sword throw. But we want to create two children of this blueprint now. So we can right click, create child blueprint. And this is going to be BP_ability and double jump. But yeah, in this one we don't have to change anything because it already has the material for the double jump. And if we click here, you can see that it also has the ability type of the double jump.
Awesome.
So yeah, this one is fine. But then again, create a child of the ability pickup, create child blueprint, and this is going to be BP_ability_sword.
BP_ability.
Throw. And in this blueprint, we go to the sphere and we change the material. So this is going to be mi_ability sword throw to get the green glow. And also if you go to the top here, for the ability type, we select the sword throw and compile and save. And let's delete this one. Just select it and delete on the keyboard. And now we can drag out the sword throw, put it here somewhere in the map where the player can get it, and also have the ability double jump blueprint and have it on the other side like this. So yeah, now I can pick this up. Well, first you see that the glow, they look a bit more interesting now, and I pick up the right one and I get the sword throw ability, and I pick up this one and I get the double jump ability. Well, it's just printing it right now, but this is the base for it. So now to add the actual functionality, again, we can just close all of these things, close the tabs, and file save all, and open up the blueprint for the player. So blueprint, characters, captain, BP captain. And here, because, well, the enemy doesn't need abilities, so it
blueprint, main character,
can just be on the captain. And we create a variable here and just called unlocked abilities, just like this. And it's gonna be E abilities, the enum we created, and compile and save. And this needs to be an array because we can have multiple abilities, not just a single one. So we can, next to the variable type, we can click this drop down and select the array type.
It's going to be multiple.
Compile and save, and now you can see that we have multiple values here that we can add. So we can just press here and have the double jump, have the sword throw active like this. But yeah, we don't have anything when starting the game, so yeah, just click on the trash can and we're gonna add these later. Cool. So we can also create a new function here on the captain and just called gain ability.
Gain ability.
Like this. And what we do here is we can get the unlocked abilities and add unique, because we don't want an ability to be active multiple times. So it's only gonna add it if we don't already have it. And yeah, here we can just pick the sword throw or the double jump, but we actually want to pass it through here. So we can just connect it here like this. And I want to change this name for the input to just ability type, like this, ability type, and compiling. Like this. And I want to change this name for the input to just ability type, like this, ability type, and compile and save. And yeah, pretty much everything this does is it's gonna save the ability on the player. But we still need to call this, so we can open up the blueprints abilities, and we want the parent BP ability pickup. And here, where we have the begin overlap for the player check, we don't need the print string anymore. Can just delete this, and from the ask BP captain, just call gain ability.
Gain ability from main character to the target that we're trying to do.
Like this, and connect here to the destroy actor. And yeah, for the ability type, well, we just pass the ability type that is set inside of this ability pickup and compile and save. And well, yes, so this is all we need to save the ability on the captain, but we can't really see anything that's happening here, and I still can't double jump. But yeah, it's being saved in this array that we have. So the thing with the double jump is that it's actually not something custom, but it is on the character. So since we inherit from the character and the action chart, we want to set the double jump here when we gain the ability. So to check which ability type we got, we can just drag off here, or actually we can right click and get ability type, which again is just the shortcut to this. And here we can switch on E abilities like this. And well, in the case that it's a sword throw, which we're going to take care of in the next episode, we don't really have to do anything when we gain the ability. We just need to save it. But in the case of the double jump, we need to change the setting on the character here. And you can see here, if we press on the captain and look for max jump, there is a max jump max count. So here we can just right click and set jump max count and set it to 2. Max and by default it's just 1. So yeah, once you have the double jump, we just set the max jump count to 2. And this is enough to enable this, so just compile and save. And here, so yeah, if I just press now and try to double jump, I can't. And then I pick up this one, the double jump, and I can jump one more time in the air, just like this. And this was a super simple way of unlocking an ability, right? Because we save it in the array and we just change the setting here. In case it's a double jump, we just change the max jump count and it affects our player. Now I can't, I pick it up, and now I do have the ability, I can double jump. And now we want to create the sword throw ability. And this is a really cool ability, but it's actually easier to create than you might think. So first we want to open up the content drawer, go to content blueprints and right click, create a new blueprint class, and this should just be an actor. And I'm gonna call it BP sword, like this, and double click to open it up. Well, the first thing we want here is the projectile movement component, because yeah, the sword is a projectile in a sense that we throw it and we want it to fly forward, so it's kind of similar to a bullet in a sense. So yeah, we can just use the projectile movement component, which has a lot of functionality on that we can just reuse. And next, the projectile movement component needs a collision to work. So we can just look for collision, and we have the box collision, capsule collision, and sphere collision. Well, in this case, I want to use the box collision. And a reason for this is, and we can just call box, that I want us to be able to throw the sword inside of a wall and make the sword stick in the wall, and we can then jump on the sword and kind of use it like a ladder. And if we were to use a collision of sphere, well, it's kind of hard for us to stand on the sword. Capsule might work, but
no, it's just because of the shape that it's a box. Let me see.
And I think box is the most stable because, yeah, we can just have the sword stick in the wall and the character can jump on top of the box. And we can also just use the box collision to check if we hit an enemy and then just destroy the enemy. So yeah, that's the reason I'm using the box collision. And I think it also needs to be the default route. So we can just grab the box and drag it over the default scene route, and it will become the new route. And I think this is necessary for the projectile movement component to work. And last but not least, we click on the box and add a flip book. Paper flip book here.
Paper flip book.
Yes. So let's first take care of the flip book. I can just rename it F2 sword flip book to alleviate any confusion. And yeah, so here for the sword flip book, we can go to the right, the source flip book, and look for sword. And we imported this right at the beginning when we started this project. And I want to use the captain sword spinning. And yeah, it's this one that we want to use. And for now, yeah, it looks kind of nice in the box around the correct size for now. So we can just keep it like this for now. And the next thing we want to do is go into the projectile movement component and change some settings. Because by default gravity is 1.0, but we just want to throw the sword straight. We don't want it to arc down and
0
like that. So yeah, just projectile gravity scale, set it to 0, so it will just flow forward without being affected by gravity. And we can also look for speed, and since it's 0 right now, even if we spawn the projectile, it's not gonna move. So we can just set this to maybe 500 for now, both the max speed and the initial speed, set it both to 500 and compile and save. So for the box settings, we want to have a bit of a strange setup. So yeah, we can go to box, go to collision settings, and yeah, we can start at overlap all dynamic, but we want to go to custom. And well, for most things, we actually want to block. So
yeah, because we're trying to
for visibility, camera, yeah, this is fine. But for world static, we want to block the collision here. For world dynamic, you also want to block. For pawn, we only want to overlap because we want to check with the overlap.
We want to get on it.
Pawn take damage. For the physics body, we also want to block. Vehicle destructible, we also want to block. So yeah, we have 3 overlaps for the visibility and camera, and this is so that if we do line traces and things like that, we're not gonna block them. And also for the pawn, that we just get the nice overlap event without the sword getting stuck. But we do want the walls, the world static, the walls to block this, so we can then attach it to the walls. So yeah, this is a bit of a strange setup, but yeah, this is the way it works best. So let's first try to spawn this. So we can go into here and go to our characters, captain, and BP captain, and on the event graph, we still haven't created the input action for our throw. So we can just right click, IA_throw, just like this. And well, first we want to check if we even have the ability for throwing unlocked. So we can get unlocked abilities. And here we can simply check for contains item.
Contains.
Sword throw. Yeah, so this is going to tell us if we have the sword throw unlocked or not. And here we're going to get true or false, and we can use a branch. So on start it. Yeah, so in the case that we have the sword throw ability unlocked, well, we can proceed to spawn the sword. So on true, we can just spawn actor from class, like this.
Spawn
and
actor.
Here just get the BP sword. BP sword, which we created. And for the spawn transform, just split struck pin. And for now, we can just do this from our character here. So we can get actor transform and also split this up. And yeah, we just use our actor location and the actor rotation for now. And this way it's gonna spawn in the middle of our character here. And just to make sure we don't have any issues with spawning, we can just use always spawn, ignore collision. just to make sure it's always going to spawn no matter what. And let's try this out. Compile and save and go here. And if you forgot, the throw is on the K key if you followed the same instructions that I did. And well, this is, I think, the double jump, yes, and this is the
Oh, and then they get collided with each other? Is it because they're in the same direction? Yeah. Yeah, they're colliding with the box. Then I can't collide with them. Okay. Interesting.
sword throw. And now I can throw the sword. It was this easy. Well, it's kind of flying like this and going like this. The problem now is though that I don't have any walls here where we can test if the sword is going to stick into the walls. And while we also don't have the enemy overlap in there yet. So let's just create something world static that we can use. So we can just get the floor.
Okay.
And I'll just hold Alt and drag off here and create a copy of it, which I can then bring up. And go into rotate mode and rotate it around by 90 degrees.
Why do I feel like this is so janky? Fascinating.
Like this, and move it over behind the enemies. Like this. And now I can start the game and go here, and I'll throw my sword with K.
No, you won't.
Well, actually, I gotta pick the pickup first.
Yeah, you will.
K, I can throw the sword like this, and they get stuck in the wall. But yeah, they'll get stuck in the wall, but they just keep on playing the animation, and we also cannot jump on them just yet. So that's something we still have to take care of. So we can go to the box collision and go all the way down to on component, and this time on component hit. Because we have blocking collision with world static, which are the walls, so we can use on component hit. So the first thing we want to do in this case is that we want to change the flipbook, because we don't want to use the spinning flipbook anymore. So we can get the sword flipbook when we hit the wall and set flipbook like this. And here we go to sword, and we have the sword
embedded
flipbook, which you'll see right now. So you can compile and save, and yeah, when we hit the wall, it's just gonna change the flipbook. So I can go like this and pick this up, and here you see we hit the wall and it gets into the other animation. Well, however, sadly this animation is offset a little bit. So you can see this if we go to content, paper, assets, and sword, that, well, this is in the middle, but this is kind of too far on the right. So we have to make some adjustments here. And one other problem is that now we're just looping, and even if the sword is stuck in the wall, we just kind of loop this animation, but we want it to stop. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. So in the BP sword, after we change the flipbook, we can again get the sword flipbook and set looping to not looping, like this. And yeah, this alone is enough to, if I throw the sword, it's gonna stop like this. And yeah, it just is stuck in the wall, but we still need to offset where the flipbook goes. And well, there's again many ways we could do this, but one way I like doing this is to just go to the box collision and add a scene component and just call this embedded position or embedded pos. And I can then drag this to the left by, let's say,
shiny. I see shiny balls.
I want to move the sprite over to the left once we hit the wall. And we can just test if this position is fine or not. So on the component hit.
How are you today?
And I can then drag this to the left. Pos. Call this embedded position or embedded pos. And I can then drag this to the left by, let's say, -40 because
embedded position.
I want to move the sprite over to the.
You okay? Well, okay, it's not bad, so. Why is the heart back? Fucking YouTube, bro. So, I'm like in my studio. Like a YouTube studio. One sec. Now that you're back, I'm just gonna try it again. So like, usually I could press this. And so this is where that setting is. And I can't, it's not, no click. So it's just like a bug on YouTube's end right now. And so I had to set it up through OBS, which is annoying in itself. Wait, does it say day 6 or day? YouTube got it. Does it say day 7? Okay, it does. Good. YouTube got it. Like, come on. Whatever. Good, good. Remember to like the channel, please. Thank you.
Left once we hit the wall. And we can just test if this position is fine or not. So on the component hit.
Oh, so just a little recap for you. So we have these little shiny balls that we made, which was a pretty cool process. If you want to look at that. I made this wall so that when we get an ability pickup, which is one of these, I get to throw a knife and then it sticks in the wall. Right now, it obviously isn't sticking in there like well, but that's one. And then this one is a double jump. And then the other thing that we did was, you see how he's not like following me? Once I get close enough, he starts to want to attack me now. And then he's always going to follow me just for the sake of this game. But when I get far enough, I think he can't come all the way over here unless, so all the way over here then. Yeah. And then he can't come to this part of the zone. And then once I get back in the zone, he can chase me again. But once I'm here. So those are the things we've changed today. So like this screen is the zone. This is the area in which he gets notified when I'm there. And these are my little ability orbs. The ability orbs, I'm not so sure. I'm like not super into the orb idea. I want more of like a gooey, I just leveled up system. Let me pick the sword throw, and then the sword throw can mutate into the sword throw into the wall and then jump on it. Oh, also, I don't know if this is something that you are interested in doing with us. So once I'm done with this, which I plan on finishing this today, I want to go back and remake the first game that I made but we're gonna make it our own, right? That's the idea. And so how do we do that? How do we learn this shit? So this quick draw project.
In this chapter, we'll create the first actual game in this course. It's gonna be a very simple game, however it has a full game loop and is complete. The concept is very similar to the quick draw minigame from the Kirby series, where you have two samurai facing off and whoever draws their sword quicker is the winner. So it's a game that tests your reaction time and only has a single button input.
So with this, it's not necessarily going to be a game of reaction time. It's, if I can make it 2-player, great. That's gonna be part of it. So see if we can make it 2-player locally. Next, I want to add more of a rock, paper, however you spell scissors kind of concept. And then so from here, I kind of want like your guys' input. Is this going to be like XYZ different characters? Do you guys not care? Is there something that you see from this type of layout that we can turn into something like this? Because like I'm not necessarily held to this idea, but I just want to see if you or Safe have any input on what we could be adding. But out of what I see so far, this is kind of the idea. We have idle state. All players will have an idle state and then the attack state. And then I want to implement a win counter for both sides. And then we can make it like best of 5 and then game restart. Serial Killer 17. What's up? Right now we're just in tutorial hell. We are building a ability based game that's a 2D 3D platformer where you pick up abilities and then it gets thrown into a wall. Stuff like double jump. This is most of the stuff we added today. These little fuckers run around and chase us. It could be just regular rock, paper, scissors, yes, in theory. But I don't want to limit myself to that idea. I want to make it as like whatever as we want it to be. Because like I think with the idea of having a stream where we can have people interact with me, I'd like to implement some of your guys' ideas if you guys have any. Because the whole point of like learning is this paper ZD. The part paper ZD has something to do with it, yes. Not necessarily with the abilities or anything like that, but my my paper ZD chart is very similar to, I mean, if you know paper ZD, you probably know Cobra Code. And so it's a lot of what he's put out. Add horse armor and NFTs. Paper ZD. Okay. So we go into our main character and the paper ZD animation blueprints and the animation sequence sources. Like I have all of that set up. For like your stun state, your defeated state, idle, run, fall, jump. Well, actually, this should be jump, fall, but it just says fall. But yeah, paper ZD is used for this. You know, you have your child's classes, the abilities, checking to see if I gain the ability or not, all of that. On a serious note, don't you think a rock paper scissors game is a bit too simplistic? No, I don't at all, because I have no idea. Like so what is the scope of the project that I've made? What is the scope of the project that I've made so far? The scope of the project that I've made so far is just like So like, what have I accomplished? You know, what have I done? And it's like, I followed a tutorial. And then so from that tutorial, how do I go from a reaction time game to a logic based game? Logic based being, if X happens, then Z loses, and implementing all of that code. Nice. Are you using gas for abilities on your own? So this is what, day 7? I'm not sure I know what gas is, but please fill me in. That's a fair point. I understand. Go for it. Yeah. And so just like with that, I'd like to like build on some ideas. Maybe add some custom hats then. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like the sprites is like, you know, what, like, am I using like the assets that I showed you guys the other day? Where is it? Like, am I bringing Mr. Panda Sprite, you know, in here or not? Like, am I going to bring this guy in here and have him like face off against, you know, our current champion, our current hammer down champion? You know, these are all ideas that I want to like discuss with you guys to make it either more challenging for myself or, you know, just get new ideas from you guys. On looking good for day 7, gas is just a plugin for Epic to make games with abilities easier. Oh, bro, you are a, thank you so much. We are adding that to the notes real quick. Things to consider. No, this isn't something to consider. Okay. Making games with abilities easier to code, I'm guessing. Character selection. And thank you. I'm really trying. Really trying, bro. I'm just trying to be consistent. I'm just trying to learn something every day. I thought about adding art with this, but the art aspect plus this is just way too cumbersome. Yeah, there's some annoying C++ boilerplate to get through, but it's a nice system. I mean, I inevitably, at some point will be learning, you know, enough C++. And, you know, all of this, I don't want to say to get by, because eventually, you know, I do want a full-blown code, but all in time. So for the character selection, so something that I was thinking about like this is that, you know, is it a team? Is rock one person? Is paper another person? And is scissor another person? Or do we get one player, come on, keyboard, one player, and they get 3 attacks? But anyway, I'm going to save this. I want to save this, and we can do this. Yeah, we can just save it right in here. This is for rock, paper, scissors. GDD. I do one player with 3 attacks, but to pick if you want to play as a penguin or a panda. Yeah. So, Serial, just to keep you caught up. So I'm following this tutorial from, if you happen to know Cobra Code, it's his course. I'm just following it. I'm in the last leg of the tutorial. And so we got the rest of this to do, and then we're gonna restart the game, and we're gonna remake each of the games with our own decisions. So whatever chat comes up with, whatever I come up with, and slightly alter the game to make it a little bit more complicated, as well as like figuring out all these things along the way. Because like we have a base foundation for all of these abilities and, you know, tutorials, and it's like, you know, how do you branch out from that? And so that's kind of the approach that I want to take here with doing it.
So now it's time to create our first Metroidvania component hit box.
One second, chat. Before we get going on some more code. And he's gone. You said put a like on the video. I have watched stuff for 19 years I have watched stuff on YouTube for 19 years and never subscribed to anyone or given a like to a video. I have just commented maybe 5 times in those years and don't want YouTube to know what I like or not. Okay, that's fair. No worries. Is what it is. And that is your right to completely do that. Oh, I feel like I have such great conversations with these newbies, but because I'm new, I don't get anybody, which is okay, because essentially I feel like when people end up coming in and they stick around are the people that are gonna, like, you know, they're gonna see. You're gonna see.
I can then get a...
All right. Onward. Laugh my ass. Glad you're still here.
Copy the sword flipbook, paste it, and set relative. Location, because we want to change the location of the sword once it's embedded, and I can just get the location of the embedded pos, and here I can just get relative.
Get relative location, and then that goes in here. Eventually you'll have 500 watching your stream, and that will maybe be my time to leave. I don't like big crowds, neither do I, bro. I worry about it. I hope no matter what, you stick around and you at least enjoy and learn, you know, what everything is, you know, going on here, you know, with me is a little bit of the goal, just to, you know, meet like-minded people and just to see who else is interested in all of this, you know, landscape. Just, you know, where a lot of people I feel like are just out to learn. Serial killer. I'm making a 2D 2.5D platformer where the character is a sprite. So I'm also using Paper ZD. That's awesome. What kind of game are you making, if you don't mind sharing some of your details? I will give you the details of mine if you are wondering as well on what like my encompassing goal is, you know, from doing all of this. I bet my view time is worth more than a thumbs up on a video, even for, yeah, oh, absolutely, bro. The watch time I have on this is more than the stuff that I've been doing for like years. So I genuinely appreciate the shit out of you and Safe for being here. I really do. It's really humbling. Thank you. Let's fucking clean this garbage up. Atmosphere's platformer with light puzzles, something like Inside Limbo. Dude, yeah, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. That's awesome. I love that. Very cool. What kind have you thought about a like art style that you want to go for? Like what's your color palette looking like, or are we not that far? Because I think what really makes those games stand out is just like the blankness, right? We have the red, and then like where else is there red in this game other than for the main character? And you have like the wood color, the blue, the ambient light. You know, I feel like, oh, it's just so good. You know, no matter the frame, it's always like those same blank colors behind you, unless it's like, you know, they're drawing attention. Oh, it's such a good game. Such a good game. Yeah, it's undersaturated, gorgeous. Yeah, 100% agree.
Location. Like this.
That's gonna be sick, bro.
And connect this here. And yeah.
Is there anything I can like follow you on to like follow your progress, or are you just doing it independently?
All this does is that once we hit the wall, it's gonna take the sprite and move it over to this position of the embedded pus. Like this, and let's test this out.
Let's see it. Boom, look at that. Look at that. Doesn't go into the wall anymore. Now the problem is when I just keep throwing them. When I keep throwing them in a line like that, they get stuck. Even when I jump. What about if I throw it this way? From here? Probably just gonna get stuck too. Yeah. You just keep spamming it. We're going for an old school CRT feel. Oh, like Doom? We kind of thinking like a Doom-esque? Or is it still just not necessarily 3D space, but still 2D? Super early now at some point, and we'll need to make a Steam page, but not yet. Excellent. Kids will say that the game looks ass. They want lollipop explosions and shiny boxes like Fortnite. Yeah. Yeah. They would. Unless the gameplay is fun. People are still buying Vampire Survivor like fucking hotcakes. Was kind of like the inspiration for me to kind of get something like this going. I'm thinking almost VHS like quality for the visuals. Ooh. Bro, you're cooking. You're fucking cooking. Excited to see what that's gonna look like. I wonder why I'm getting like this. You guys see that like shadowing under me? I don't want, what is it? What's it called? Grid. Okay, so I guess we want grid. think it was advanced. Something mesh, no? Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
Throw it. And yeah, so this looks a lot nicer. Well, actually, it's a bit too far because we're outside of the wall. So maybe we go one more to the right, which is minus 30 on the X.
And what is that going to do?
Looks, like this. And throw it. And yeah, this looks really nice. So we play the animation once, and then we're just stuck in the wall. And this looks pretty nice, yes. One more thing that we need to do here is change the material settings.
That looks good.
Because now our sword flip book, it is using the unlit sprite material, which doesn't take in light from the scene. So we can go to masked.
Oh. Yeah, duh. Sword flip book. Masked lit? Yeah. And so now, there we go. Beautiful. Getting that lighting. Peaky is the nav mesh. Bro's a genius. Let's go. You can get some VHX looking stuff from simple shaders and tweaks. Look at the homie. Look at the homie dishing it out. Thank you, Freggs. Let's play. Oh, well, actually, I just want you moving in here. And then we can eject. Eject. Thank you. Yeah. Well, why is it that I get closer, it disappears? This glow is super nice, though. He only had his shit on, like, 10, but, like, that looks good. You guys see that? Like, wait, look at this. Look at this. So, like, it all came from this material. And then apparently this has its own, like, array of things to happen. I didn't thank me for but this is super cool. Like, you can turn it into whatever, you know. Just make it a box. And then I think if I save this, yeah, it's gonna change those guys. Which is just like, wow. Like, literally you can just, you know, change the whole look of your ability orbs just like off rip. That's like, I don't know. All of this code based, I mean, not code based, but blueprint based coding is so amazing to me.
Masked lit sprite material. Change it to this, and also we want to cast shadows. So cast shadow as well. And just to check what this looks like, we go in here and I'll throw it again. And you can see the shadow is there. And yes, this looks much nicer. You can see from the wall we get the shadow. We get the shadow from the character if we stand in front of it.
Someone said I added too much film grain. What do you think? I agree. I think you need to step it back just a little bit more. I'd say maybe 15%, 10%.
As well. Well, it's kind of hard to see with the enemy attacking me. But yeah, So this looks a lot nicer. We get actual lighting, actual shadows from these swords. But at this point we still cannot jump on the sword because as you've seen before, for the box we have only overlap for pawns, so we cannot stand on top of this box. And another setting that is important here is the can player step up on. I think can player, or just look for step. Yeah, character, can character step up on? Yes. So this is fine, because if you don't have this, the character is just gonna bounce off. But yeah, this is fine as yes. But we want to change this channel for the pawn only once we hit the wall. So we can go to the event graph and to our on component hit, and in the end we can get the box and set collision response. Well, this is get actually. So set collision response to channel like this. And here the channel that we want to change is the pawn, and the new response is going to be blocking. So we can compile and save, and I go like this and throw it against the wall. Well, actually I might need the double jump to get enough height to get on top of it, so I'll pick that up. And here, well, it's blocking, so I can't walk in, and I can jump, and I'm standing on top of the sword. Well, the collision of the sword is a bit too high, so it looks a bit weird. So we might want to adjust that. So yeah, we can just go to the box, and here on the z-axis make it smaller. So maybe
I see. This is so much fun. Okay, so viewport, box. I want to squish that down. And then what do we have for this? Make that a smidge smaller. I don't want to make it too hard to jump on, you know what I mean? That way is fine. Yeah, this is cool. Cool with that. Cool with that. For my double jump. Let's go. No gravity damage yet.
maybe like 15, like this, and compile and save. Go like this, pick it up, get the double jump as
This is so fucking cool. Oh my god, I love doing this.
and just throw out a sword like this, and I will jump on top of it. And yes, we can stand on the sword.
Actually, like I never really considered what my gun does. It does like nothing. I don't really like do anything for like the sword throw necessarily, but that's okay. It can come out of nowhere for now.
Like this, and like this, and can actually, yeah, create a cool kind of game where you can climb on the walls. But yeah, there's a couple of issues with having too many swords like this, because it could break the game. Like for example, if I throw the swords like this, and I'm required to go up here, then I kind of blocked my path. So I want to change this so that we can only have one sword at a time. And this is also how it works in Street Fighter, where you can only have one Hadouken at a time. So let's do this. So in the...
Let me think about this. Do I want one at a time? I don't think I want one at a time. I think I want like minimum of like 3 though. Like 3 sounds way better. Like 1 just sounds a little boring.
So in the BP Captain...
I guess it depends on like the difficulty.
When we spawn a sword, we're gonna save the reference. So we can promote this to a variable and just call it... When we spawn a sword,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you both are going for that aesthetic and he thinks it looks good, then it probably does. The fuck do I know?
So let's do this.
Day 7, baby.
So in the BP Captain, when we spawn a sword, we're gonna save the reference, so we can promote.
Oh, I'm in shark. That's why.
Put this to a variable and just call it active sword, like this. And before we throw a sword, we can make a sequence here, and hold shift and move this down to the then 1, and yeah, move this down. So we can then check if get active sword is valid, the bottom one with the question mark, like this. And yeah, copy paste. If it is valid, then well, destroy actor, like this.
Okay. So how do I... So this sequence, is the ability unlocked? Yes. If it is true, then we can throw the sword. And if it is valid, then we can throw another one. But then we're going to destroy the actor. So would I put multiple if I did, would I go is valid again? This seems redundant. I feel like there's a better way to write this. Because if I do it this way, destroy actor, then my sword's just going to die. But how do we create a count to check to see how many? Because that would go in here.
And just go like this. Compile and save. And yes, so now I throw one sword, I throw the next one, and the old one goes away. Well, in the case of a Hadoken, it's if you have one active, it doesn't even let you spawn another one. But I think in this case, it's better that I throw the sword, I throw a new one, and the old one just goes away. And this is a lot safer because, yeah, we can't just have like thousands of swords being there and having physics enabled and maybe blocking paths. So just from a game design standpoint, this is a better solution. There might be even better solutions, but yeah, this one is fine, I think. And the next thing we want to do is that, well, we still cannot hit the enemies with this. So back in the BP sword, we can again...
So he's not gonna go for it. Okay. Mount? We wanted to keep track. I don't know, C++, I guess. C++, how to keep track of how many sword throws. We're back to the safe. Jesus Christ. How does it not get boring for you, bro? I have to say it? Says who? Says who, bro? Tell me. An actor transform. Movement. Jump. Button mapping. How would I create an instance of more swords? Let's just explore what's in here. Let's see. Count? Count the number of elements in a list, optionally filtering through. I don't think that is it. Oh, maybe it is. Count the number of elements in a list, optionally filtering to the elements in. Okay, so, oh well, I don't have that. I have active sword. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Or is it this? I told my mom about it. She laughed so hard. That's good. Then 1, then 2, and then is valid. Like, does this not seem so fucking redundant though? Well, that didn't do it. That's for sure. And then so if I just compile save from here, it just goes in lines. Well, I guess. Yeah, so can you create a program that counts how many times you press C? I guess implementing a count. How to implement a count in blueprints. Guess you guys can look at this with me. Probably be more interesting than you just seeing nothing on screen.
CVS has real lower prices. Get digestive health for less, hair care for less, first aid for less, and thousands of other products for less every day. Real lower prices. Come see for yourself at CVS.
Create an integer. Inside of my character. Okay. Let's go sword count. Sword count. Why did it automatically do an array? Well. Let's see. It gets incremented, so yeah, don't make it into an array. Okay. I'm not going to make it into an array. Add. Then get plus plus. Yeah, okay. So I was on the right track, but I guess why is this? Hasn't happened in the past. Click on the 9 boxes and make it into a normal variable. Okay. Sword count. Boxes. Object type. Or do I just do... integer. Oh, on the right hand side. Perfect. And then drag out pen, increment. Well, do we want it to increment or do we want it to just be a max of 2? I'm thinking a max of 3. So is it something that would implement, or is it something that needs to be like less than or equal to? No, because this is a condition. Gets incremented every time it happens. Okay. Let's fuck with this for now. Now that we're... Thank you. Cereal. So sword count is 0. And then less than or equal to no. You gotta tell me something? What's up, Safe? before. Oh, okay. I think I need to be writing this shit down more. I think that's my biggest downfall. Is the next time we go through this is really taking good notes on what a lot of this shit does. Excuse me. Max swords. That is an integer value as well that we want to get. This value is going to be, let's just say 3 for the purposes of this. So you said something like sword count before throwing a sword, check to see if sword count. Okay, so this count needs to be, this check needs to happen. I feel like, well, is the sword valid? If it is, then the count can happen and then it can get destroyed. So I feel like in here is okay. So we are going to be less than or equal to the max amount. And then we want to branch, I think. If that is true, then destroy. Let's go in here, take a look at this, play. Not quite, not quite, not quite. If so, oh, we didn't implement a counter for sword count. I see. So this isn't it. This is not correct. This is not correct yet. And I don't know if it goes here either. If yes, then throw sword and apply count. Okay. So I think because this is where it gets thrown. So if it gets thrown here, then this shit needs to be slid over. Because we need increment. And then this is sword count, I believe, again. No, we're incrementing that. And what result integer? So something variable. So we have our variables. We have max swords, which is a set value of 3, and then a sword count, where right now that is equal to 1. Well, actually it should be equal to 0. It shouldn't be equal to anything. It is 0. Okay, so it's equal to 0 right now. And then, oh, so it needs to be 2 because 0 is a number. That is true. And so, if we throw a sword, then sword gets implemented. No, so this just adds one to the specified value, then sets it. And then what do I have to? Oh, oops. Need that up. Okay. Max sword throw and sword count. Before throwing a sword, check to see if it's less than or equal. Okay. Check to see if sword count is less than or equal to sword max. And then so this should be a branch. So I think this is correct. This is correct because we are checking to see, can we throw the sword? Yes. If we can throw the sword count is 0 with a max amount of swords of 2. If this is true, then increment an integer of sword count. Oh, so no, keep going. Did we do it? And then it doesn't get reset. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I was just, okay. So we're able to get 3 out now. Oh my god, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it, chat. We're doing it. We're fucking doing it. And then so... Oh, that's because I didn't fucking do this. What? Okay, okay, okay. Wait. Let him cook. Let him cook. Fuck! Okay, so if... No. Is there logic for... like... If max swords equals 2, then destroy actor. I feel like that's like the next part of this. Because like we're able to get 3, but then how do we reset? How do we destroy the first one and then make a new one? Because like the system that I think in my head is So you grab this, I'm able to throw 3, and then I want my first one to disappear so that like I can keep scaling up if I wanted to. Is it just moving around this logic? And so is valid, active sword. Break this line, jump connection, promote to variable. Add a delay. Bro, you are so good at this. How long have you been doing this for? A delay. Well, let's just look at delay. Perform a latent action with a delay. Calling again while it is counting down will be ignored. So if the sword is valid, adding a delay after the spawn and then destroy it after X seconds. That's an interesting idea. Instead of, or is there an overwrite? I feel like adding the delay is so much better for, and then destroying it. Oh. Okay. Let's just make this 3 seconds for now. And then we could probably promote this to a variable. And then destroy actor after X seconds. Well, let's just see what this does. Let's see what this does first. Okay, so now once you have the delay, then we want to do this bit. Delay should come after the spawn node. Delay. Um, and then nope, not whatever the fuck that is. And then paste. Wait, this isn't right. Oh, God. So it's incremented, and then we can't automatically minus it. That's not how it works. We want to throw it. So the delay comes here, but here is where I want minus minus for sword count. Destroy actor. Looks like it appears I've created a cooldown. And I think it keeps my inputs. Not quite. Not quite where we want to be. So this delay is delaying the time at which it takes to throw. So that doesn't go there. This delay, well, let's grab that. Put this here. And then from here, can I do this? Is this something that works? No. You know, it's so interesting that something seemingly so simple can be so difficult to do. Oh my God. And I bet this isn't even difficult. What am I saying? This isn't difficult. I could do this. I can fucking do this. So we have the count part. Now we just need the destruction part is what we're working with. And you literally have it laid out for me, but I'm just a dummy dumb. So I'm sure with enough trial and error, I can fucking get through this. The delay should come after the spawn node. After the spawn node. So this is the spawn node. This is what is spawning the BP sword. So I'm putting a fucking delay here and putting it there. So let's compile save. Wait, something disappeared. Wait, so if I throw this, can I still like go on it? Okay. So that doesn't affect that, but it does affect when I throw it. But not when I spam it. And then it's just going to delete. So this is closer for sure. But I think it's because this bit of logic is wrong. So now move destroy actor from where you have it now to after the, well, so if I, oh, so you're saying this bit. Oh, we'll see. See what that does. Oh, but I didn't do the sword count. That's important. So yeah, okay. Okay. So then from here, minus this sword count. We're cooking. We're cooking, chat. A ton of thanks to the serial killer 17. But we're cooking. So now I think what I have to do in both cases is a sword minus. Wait. So if I throw it, yeah, I should only get a -1 once it lands. So this should only trigger. So I throw, it lands. It disappears after 3 seconds. But if I throw, then it only keeps track of the last one and overwrites the first one. So BRB. All right, come back soon. Appreciate all your help, bro. All right, come back soon. Don't want any of that. I feel like if I make a throw, then it adds 1, but it should be minus. So move the strike actor from where you have it now after the delay. And then just minus the sword count. Well, if that doesn't work, because yeah, we can only increment a sword minus count once it's been destroyed. So this needs to come after no matter what. Okay. So we've established that this needs to be here. But the case that we have now is we throw and then we can just spam throw. So how do we... This is like that stun bit. So we can look at... Oh, we can't spam our attacks. Animation override. Okay. So what we're going to do here, let's move this back. Instance. Copy this down here. I think we're cooking. And then what we do, throw. We have throw. Okay. And so with this, we get that. And so with that, I don't know if now this is where I might get fucking confused, but we'll figure it out. So we have this, into this, into this, into this, and then hopefully I can also put that in there. Cool. All right. File save. Not quite it. Not quite it at all. Not it. So I guess AI attack. Oh, we have to check if it can act. That's what it is. Can act. So a condition. So can act. And then we have to see. What's up? Hi. I love you. So if he can act, he can throw another one. So this is a branch. So we need a branch for this. And if he can act, he can throw another one. And the sword count is still the problem. I'm not addressing the problem. When does that top row get activated now? That's the big question. So we have 3 that can spawn. We haven't decreased the amount. So throne, delay. Maybe. Maybe. Just maybe. So no matter what happens, so there needs to be a pause. Well, first of all, let's get rid of this can act bullshit because this is just not doing anything. Oh shit. Not quite what I wanted. But let's see what's going on. So I get this. Oh, so that prevents the throw from happening. So I don't quite want that because it's putting a delay on me performing the action. So Not here. Not here. But maybe here? Grab the orb, throw the orb. I guess, how do I... It's like once it's in the wall, because I can just spam it. And then once I spam it, so does that have something to do with this? Am I overcomplicating it? Well, for now we have a system where it kind of works. It kind of does the thing we want it to do. And I don't want to spend too much more time on this because I do want to fully build out the rest of this. Yeah, so let's finish up the rest of this sword throwing, and then we can revisit this to make it the way we want it to. But for now, this is okay. So comment. Sword count issue with class 3 spawning. Can delete this one. Cool. All right. Fine enough for now. We've limited ourselves. And I guess the other thing is that I know I don't need to spam it, so that's, but it's not clean, right? It's not clean. It's not refined. Just a fucking problem. All right, I'm gonna pee. And it probably is. It was good. And how close I am to finishing. Yeah, but
So exciting.
it's exciting, but to say that like it's fine to like copy and I definitely like know my way around all of this stuff better, but to say that I'm like learning, I'd say would be a little bit of a stretch. I've definitely learned stuff, but like I can't recreate what I'm like. Part of me struggles to want to like finish this because I feel like I'm not like, yeah, this stuff is cool and I'm working on it now, but I really feel like I need to be building on something on my own in order to really like be progressing or moving forward. Yeah, where like a lot of this does feel that way because like right now this was like what I was trying to like implement, and it just like, you know, I had somebody like in chat that was helping me. I don't know if they're here now, but they did a really great job of explaining it, and I was able to get it down to being able to throw like a sword, it lands, and then it disappears after 3 seconds. But then when I throw a bunch in succession, only the last one will disappear, but the other 2 will stay. Yeah, and then you can throw one and you can keep going, but then that one's going to disappear. But I would want it to be, I want like this one, like the first one that I throw to disappear first.
Yeah.
Not like the last one that I threw. I want the first one to start the timer, and then that one get deleted, and then it goes into the next one. But maybe I'm just asking like too much of myself. I don't know. But for the most part, it's only after that I can like pick this up, can I be able to throw it. And then if I pick this one up, I get a double jump. Thank you. I think so too. And I like being able to at least like look back at it and everything. But I think the problem is really coming down to like, I won't be able to like recreate this. I think this area of this is something that I really, really want to explore, but like I can make these things look however I want inside of this and like change it to whatever colors I want. And it's crazy. Like there's so much,
And the different colors do different.
depending on literally however I design it, you know.
But the two that you have.
Yeah. Ability, double jump, ability, sword throw. And I want it to be more of like a skill tree system instead of a pick up disability system. So I need to create a UI. How do I do that? You know, there's so many things to like consider. User interface. So this is a user interface to be able to build a game, but inside of this, I need a user interface for the game that I'm making. Okay. Another view. Mm-hmm.
And go to the box collision.
It's not very exciting.
Scroll down.
Okay.
And this time we want the on component begin overlap because, well, we are overlapping with the pawns. So we can get this. And other actor, we can cast this to Shark, cast to BP Shark, because we only care about the enemies. And what we do here is, well, on the BP Shark, we call receive attack, like this. And, well, we can change the value. Let's say the sword throw is actually stronger than the sword slash. So we can maybe make it 50 damage, like this. So it's going to attack the NPC, and it's going to receive the attack.
Did I end up deleting that map? Print. Animation.
And then, so it's going to attack the NPC.
BP sword, but take that, paste it down here. Special. Save. And then this is 4. Well, I guess I'd probably have to set this up differently. Huh? Okay. So this is so I can't spam it. So current. So this is special to him. And so +2. Dark. Can't receive damage from this. Receive attack.
Bye-bye.
Not quite. Okay. So little self-destruct sequence. How do we get it to do? God, I can't think of anything on my own.
And it's going to receive the attack. And then we just call destroy actor to destroy the sword. Like this. Compile and save, and like this. I can pick this up. So here's the enemy. I'll throw the sword. It took damage and the sword went away. Just like this. And I can still like throw it in the wall like this. Yeah, and there's no bugs. Just like this, it works. Hits the enemy. And yeah, we don't get any error messages. Everything works just fine. But yeah, one thing again is that, well, we don't really play the animation yet to throw the sword. And it also just spawns like directly inside of our character, which isn't so nice. And so we're going to polish this up a little bit more in the next episode. In the last episode, we created the sword throw, and it's working, but there are still a couple of things we want to do, like playing the animation and setting the sword location.
Oh, no matter what, that gets deleted after 3 seconds. So it'll just spin in free space. Work properly. You said you're not hungry. What? What?
I'm getting hungry.
Um. Make food if you want. 4.
and a lot of polished things like that. So let's first start out by going into the BP Captain, and on the event graph where we are having the input action throw, well, all of this stuff on the right, we actually don't want to do when we press the button. For now, we can just drag it down here and hold Alt and press this line, and we just forget about spawning, despawning the first sword and spawning the second sword. Well, the first thing we want to do here is that if we can sword throw, well, we first want to play an animation, the throwing animation we prepared before. So we can just right click and get anim instance, the one from paper ZD again, and we can overwrite, play animation overwrite with callbacks again, and go to true. In the true case, we call this. And well, the animation that we want to play now is called throw. This one. Yeah, and you can see path is game, blueprints, characters, captain, anim sequences. So we know it's for the captain throw. And yes, default slot is fine. And well, the throw should also lock us so that we cannot jump while we're throwing. We cannot attack while we're throwing. So here we can just set is attacking. If we start the throw, yes, set it to true, and copy paste. And if it's completed or if it's cancelled, well, we're not attacking anymore. And one more thing is that, well, yeah, we check first, do we have the sword throw ability? But also we need to check for can act. So we can get can act. Well, actually, it's just can act. The function we made before, where we check if are we dead, are we stunned, or are we already attacking. And so not just this needs to be true, but we also need an AND boolean. So we need to have the sword throw unlocked and be able to can act, and only then are we going to proceed with all of this. So yeah, this also prevents us from just spamming the sword throw before it even ends. And well, yeah, now if we just compile and save, well, we're just gonna play the animation. If I just press K now, nothing happens because I don't even have the sword throw ability. I pick it up, and now you can see that we play this, and if we try to move, we're actually locked in place, which is what I want. But now we still need to trigger, well, the sound effect, and we need to trigger the actual sword throwing. So to do this, we can go to blueprints, characters, captain, and here we have the AS captain, the animation source. And here we want to go to the throw animation that we are playing. So the first thing we want to do is, well, frame 0, we're still holding the sword, and frame 1 is where we want to spawn it. So first, let's just do a sound effect. So here on the track 1, we can right click and add notify, and there is already a prepared one called play sound. And we just add this here, and we right click it and set it to notify frame 1 and press enter. So it's exactly at the start of this frame. And well, for the sound, we prepared one before, and I think it was called throw. Throw. Yeah, S throw Q. And if I play now, you can hear it, how it's playing. And so yeah, this again makes it super easy to play sound effects on a certain frame, which we can do much easier with Paper ZD. But we also want to spawn the sword, and we can just click on the track here and add insert notify track, have a second track. And well, last time we used the notify state of attack. And well, I'm just going to put it out here to show you, but we're not going to use it. And well, the good part here was that we could make it shorter and longer, because we might want to have an active attack that has multiple active frames. So this was great for that. But the sword throw doesn't need this, so I can just delete this. Well, the sword throw only really happens once, exactly when we hit frame 1, and there is no start or end to it. It's just a kind of a one-off event. And for these, we could use a notify state, but it's better to just use a notify. So we can just right click here and add notify and new notify. And here we can set the name, and I'm just going to call it throw sword. And here I want to right click again and put it exactly on notify frame, notify frame 1, like this. Yes. And well, you can see it here as well now. The one we created, you can see it here. And we now need a way to trigger this. So we can go to the animation blueprint. Actually, well, we can open it up here or also just here because it's connected. And if we go to the event graph of the ABP captain, and you might need to compile and save. And here under the functions, we now have this receive notify throw sort. And this is being triggered here. So yeah, we can then use this to access the captain and trigger a function here. Well, the thing is on the captain, we still don't have a function prepared for this or an event, so we can just drag this over here and just here, right click and custom event. And I'm just going to call spawn sword and enter and put it in here. And now we can just call this from the animation blueprint. So here from captain, and we might have to compile and save again. And just look for spawn sword. Yeah, this one. Call function spawn sword, like this.
What's up? Buttons. I flip them.
We have to compile now. Spawn sword and enter and put it in here. And now we can just call this from the animation blueprint. So here from captain, and we might have to compile and save again. And just look for spawn sword. Yeah, this one. Call function spawn sword, like this.
Is this?
And compile and save. And now let's have a look here.
DP action char parent object reference is not compatible with action reference. This. is the child blueprint? Main character child.
Here events was to act this graph of the ABP captain, and you might need to compile
Sword. Shark.
save. Actually, click throw. This one. So just a functions. We now have this receive, notify, throw, sword, and this is being triggered and trigger a function here. Well, the thing to access the captain and trigger a function.
So here on the event graph, we have this now. BP. Why is this parent? Sword.
Function here. Well, the thing is on the captain, we still don't have a function prepared for this or an event, so we can just.
So did I fuck up in this somehow?
Click and we
Did I fuck up and do this? Okay. BP.
we first have this event. Well, go actually see click through. No, for these we could use an alt and press this line. Second sword. First one. So we can just right click and get anim instance. The one from paper is override all this one. Yeah, and it's for the the throw. Show blueprint in the animation ZD again. Click and get anim instance. The one from paper ZD again. And we can overwrite. Play animation overwrite with callbacks again. And go to true. In the true case, we call this. And well, the animation that we want to play now is called throw. This one. Yeah, and you can see path is game, blueprints, characters, captain, anim sequences. So we know it's for the captain throw. And yes, default slot is fine. And well, the throw should also lock us so that we cannot jump while we're throwing. We cannot attack while we're throwing. So here we can just set is attacking. If we start the throw, yes, set it to true and copy paste. And if it's completed or if it's canceled, well, we're not attacking anymore. And one more thing is that, well, yeah, we check first, do we have the sword throw can act? Well, actually, it's just can. We also can act. This also, well, yeah, now if we just compile and save, well, we're just gonna play the animation. If I just press K now, nothing happens because I don't even have the sword throw ability. I pick it up, and now you can see that we play this, and if we try to move, we're actually locked in place, which is what I want. But now we still need to trigger, well, the sound effect, and we need to trigger the actual sword throwing. So to do this, we can go to blueprints, characters, captain, and here we have the AS captain. The animation source. And here we want to go to the throw animation that we are playing. Here for we can see it goes in and actually, well, we can open it up here or also just here because it's connected. And if we go to the event graph of the ABP captain, and you might need to compile and save. And here under the functions, we now have this receive notify throw sword. And this is being triggered here. So yeah, we can then use this to access the captain and trigger a function here. Well, the thing is on the
There's something about paper ZD and what I'm doing here that it's wrong. Because it needs to be this guy and this action char. I fucked up somewhere along the way here. I fucking know it. That sucks dick. I don't know how to fix this. Yeah, so like
captain, and trigger. Yeah, we can functions or an event, so we can just call and just look for spawn sword. Yeah, this one. Call function spawn sword.
So this is the parent reference. So what happens if wait. No, this is wrong. Cast to so we're cooking. But so now the fuck is that? Sword spawn.
like this. And compile and save. And now let's have a look here. Pick it up and press K. And yes. So this is much nicer because you can see that we first have a little bit of a wind up from the attack, and then the sword just comes out on the second frame. And I think this looks really nice. There's only one thing, that the sword kind of spawns inside of our character. And we want to have a little bit of an offset, so it starts where the hand is at. And one thing that we can use here are sprite sockets. And they have many different uses, and
So it still needs to be this action guy in order for it to work.
we don't want he's growing. So we can with distances and growing. It's complete. So we suggest we be, and now you want to go to a animation that we are so through how it's rendered. The and not only we could name the anime, and you might need to compile and save to the event and of the ABP captain. And if we go to the event graph of the ABP captain,
Let him cook. Let him cook. So now locomotion. So one. We'll slowly start making our way up. Okay. Can probably end up changing the type. Would have been a better use case. But I guess since we're here. So the next bit is that I don't. Is there any flipbook animations? Wind up throw. I don't know what this is gonna look like, but let's give it a shot. So in our here we have a row because in our blueprints for our character we have the row. Chill, bro. We have row. Now I don't mind. I like that's not bad. It's like glad I was able to do that, no problem.
And you might need to compile and save. And here, under the functions, we now have this receive, notify, throw, so we can again just compile. And yes, so this is much nicer because back, and then the sword just comes out on the second frame.
Even though I turned it off, I still am getting it. That's crazy. Okay.
So I'm a Unity.
Well, I think that's good for today. Did not get. Oh well, what did our title suggest? Ability system and adding aggro. So yeah, we did what we wanted to today.
So
Despite
it seems like
despite some ups and downs of trying to figure out stuff, figuring out stuff is going to be obviously the hardest part of this. So this is something that I'm going to have to get used to, but I think spending a lot more time on the matters of what the problems are is what is going to be key in figuring them out. And I guess trying to find more resources for what stuff does, get a better understanding of nodes, and that I think that's a good place to start. Maybe I need to be looking at more tutorials for what does this do. So like play animation override, a branch sets a condition on whether or not something is true or false and gives you those use cases for that. And just familiarizing myself better with that idea, I feel is really what is key. But with that being said, I'm proud of myself for figuring this bit out, that I found out that this was the parent class and that this really wasn't helping me. Hopefully this doesn't bite me in the ass. I mean, it seems like we're almost done with like what we're adding to the player. All we have to do is add the goal and the spawner and improve the visuals. So I think we're gonna finish up. Let's finish this.
Really nice. There's only one thing that the sword kind of
Let's finish
spawns
this.
inside
Not
of our
gonna go just
character.
yet.
And we want to have a little bit of an offset, so it starts where the hand is at. And one thing that we can use here are sprite sockets. And they have many different uses, and in the official documentation, for example, they use a hat sprite socket to attach a hat to the character. So you have the socket here, and they then use the socket to attach the hat to the character. But we can also use it for things like this, where you want to have a certain position on a sprite.
Like, what fucking website is this? What is this? Unreal? Is this literally just the Unreal website? Unreal and like. Oh, do we have some stuff to go over? And he's talking about sockets. So yes. Okay. So we will definitely this as a reference. So let's go to paper 2D. Perfect.
To know where we want to spawn the sword. So to set up these sockets, we want to open up the content drawer and go to content, paper assets, captain, and we need to go into the frames, which is the first time we're actually opening this up. And here we have the different frames, and we need to find the one throwing the sword. So we can actually just search for a throw. And yeah, you can see here. And we really only care about this one, not the first one, not the third one, but the second one. So it's the Captain Throw Sword 1 Aseprite. And double click and open it up. And here we can see the sockets on the right side.
So with what I have, we have to find the hammer down. You know, I don't think this polish is going to work for me, unfortunately.
So spawn parent is not going to really have where you lost it. And well, and now throw now. Our spawns in front of the character where we put front of the character nicer. And yeah, these kind of maybe want to spawn it. But example, just for demonstration, I'll drag it out. Socket tracking, especially if you disable, but always a one of this and table and it's working now on top of it, and we can then use this in. I think this is fun. In this lesson, we're finally gonna get out of this debug map and import a proper cool looking map. And this map I'm talking about is the Stylized Egypt map by Alexander Ivanov. And this map is part of the available. Aim this place. And here you can just look, there are a couple. And yeah, you can either claim me, it says add to project, attaching this and just click project that we're working on, the action platformer. And just, you want to, and just click on add to.
We're adding things. I believe I found. Permanently, yeah. So this is the one I wanted. Why does it say unavailable? Fuck.
To project.
Okay, well, I guess we're not using that asset. Kind of fucking lame. I guess we'll try this one. Like, okay, well, we'll add it to project. God bless good internet. But like, where did the other one go? Like, what the fuck? Okay, so that was added. So let's go back to permanently free. This is owned. Oh, okay, cool. What's another gig for the good old C drive?
And now you want to select the project that we're working on, the action platformer. And just click on add to project. And now it's going to take a while to download the assets and add them to the project. If you have a hard time finding it here in the marketplace after you claimed it, it should also be in your library. So down here in the vault, you can just look for stylized Egypt once you have claimed it, and you can also add it to the project from here. And once this is done, in our game project, if we open the content drawer and go to the content folder, we need to get rid of the search that I have on here. And you see that we have the stylized Egypt map here. So I can just double click it and go to maps. And here we have the stylized Egypt demo. Just double click. And this might take a while to load the shaders and load the map and everything. So please be patient. And you might get an error with the vertex colors, but that is not really an issue. You can just exit out of this. And then just wait for the shaders to capture. And yeah, now we're inside of the map. And yeah, we can just go around with WASD and hold the right mouse button while we do that. And yeah, we can just have a look at this map. And yeah, this looks really cool.
Oh, fuck me. Where's my player spawn? I feel like if I turn my character like 180, it's going to absolutely destroy everything. Is there a way to rotate the world?
And it spawns in and we can walk around. Everything still kind of get the knife throwing ability, but you can see that the shadows interact with our sprite, that our sprite can also cast shadow onto the walls and other objects here. So this is a really nice merge between our 2D and our 3D game, and I really love this style, and I think this is actually the pinnacle of making paper 2D games with Unreal Engine. But the thing is that designing an open level like this is kind of hard in such a small amount of time. So we're actually gonna concentrate on making our level in this area here on top of this rooftop. This is gonna be our small level that we actually built. So we can look for the...
So let's not save. Let's try to... Player start. I want to be facing to rotate, what, 90? Yeah, I see it. And so oh, but just because I player start 90 doesn't mean that I move 90. Interesting. So how about... So this... I get no details for the arrow component. What? Yeah, I want to like... Alright, so sprite. That's what we're gonna fucking do. So the spring arm. Why are they so off-centered? And why am I moving forward? And what? Yeah, all the shit's all fucked up now. Yeah, that's gonna be annoying. So 90 and 90 and hopefully okay. Well. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this shit. But like people just put this shit out for free. Like what? Oh, there's like fucking like rooms and shit in here, or like stairs too. Fuck me up, bro. There are like rooms up here? Not really. It's just meant to be down there. So it's all for show. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Good progress. Wish we got a little bit more of our own shit done, but is what it is. Everybody have a good day. Later.